Okay, looks fine so far. So, my first opponent was Green Knight. I was on red coin, sitting on the red chair. And when I saw his leaders, I already knew that I will be favored in the series, although Green Knight wasn't the opponent that I wanted to face initially, because he's known to bring to play innovative stuff. He's really hard to predict usually, and well, I was a little bit afraid that he might cheese a win. But yeah, I saw these leaders. These leaders look like basically what I was expecting from players in the tournament. Maybe not from Green Knight, but from players in general. So basically, I just hope that his decks are very standard. And of my strategy relies on countering Gernikora and this brand deck. Which is basically countering big units, because this brand deck plays Caldwell and Juta. So Ada, Filavandrel, Morvan are all good decks against it, and I play Crack with Haim and Geralt Professional, so basically I'm ready to face all the big units. So of course I'm not banning Gernikor, I'm not banning Bran, I'm not banning Nilfgaard because I'm aware that Nilfgaard is pretty bad, so banning it is a waste. I ban Brewer because my decks rely on going for a long round 3, and Brewer can disrupt my engines against Ada and Filavandrel, as well as he's just strong in long round 3 because he plays Crashing Traps, of course. So that's just a lot of power. So basically I feel like the only deck that can match my the power of my decks in long round is Brewer. I decided to ban it away. Green Knight decides to ban Kraken Crate because Skellige is the strongest faction, of course, and also he sees Ada and Filavandrel. He might not think that those leaders are ban worthy, and Morvan is, of course, Morvan. Banning it feels pretty weird, and it feels like a waste basically, so he didn't do that. So I'm queuing on red coin. I want to get matched against Gernikora. Ideally, I would like to avoid Bran with Filavandrel because this is the easiest way for Bran to go through. And I'm really happy because Green Knight, who told me that he expected me to counter monsters, he queued the monster deck first. So the Molegion is pretty standard. I'm laughing here that I drew Pavko Gale on my starting hand because I knew that this card will be probably unexpected from people, so maybe it will make somebody happy to see it. Okay, so Green Knight is going first, I'm going second. The general game plan with my Filavandrel is to play 3 bad cards and pass. I think Green Knight was aware of that strategy because that's the strategy with most Filavandrel decks. So of course he just goes for a standard opening, Gernikor and Griffin. Solid play, of course. He plays it in the back though, so he gives me an opportunity to play around Cyclops a bit if I have to, but he still has no idea that I'm not playing engine-less list, so I don't blame him. And yeah, basically I have 3 cards. I have 4 cards that I could play in this round. It's of course the Dragoon, Skirmisher, Gabor, Volunteers if I want to, but I'm opting to start with Dragoon to enable my Skirmisher. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward, right? I can speed it up a bit, I think. If it will go too fast, I will slow it down, but I don't think it's necessary. So yeah, of course, Green Knight just plays a standard game of Gernikora, although I think he suspects me to pass early. He plays Wild Hunt Rider. In the back he wants to fin his deck, of course. I played the Skirmisher because it's one of my weakest cards in the deck, no much to talk about, I just want to get rid of it. Yeah, here I think he will He will play Wyvern. Was it Wyvern? I think it was Wyvern. I'm not sure though, but well, basically my idea what to play next is Volunteers or Gabor. I would rather play Gabor because Gabor makes it much harder to bleed me as Gernikora, and of course this is my like only win condition, getting bled to death and not getting card advantage. So yeah, I'm playing Gabor here. I could have played Volunteers because Green Knight didn't kill my Skirmisher, he didn't play around it, but he didn't know that I'm playing it. Keep in mind that the deck lists were closed for round 1, so maybe that just wasn't his priority. And he didn't want to kill units, for example, to make me think he has Forktail. Or to just keep, you know, Gimpy as an option. So yeah, at this point, Green Knight knows that I'm probably passing anyway. He decides to spend Cyclops to kill that Gabor, which is not bad for me because that means that one of his few answers in the deck is already out, and I don't have to worry too much about my engines getting removed. So I got some good draws here. I would like to have the most. Yeah, I would like to have Ike, so I was thinking about what I want to mulligan. I took one mulligan and found Ike immediately, so that was pretty lucky. Of course, I'm happy about it. And yeah, now it's all about how much can Green Knight bleed me, basically. And what does he expect? I don't think he could expect the engine deck because it's like a brand new deck. Nobody really played it. We kept it secret for as long as possible. But he will surely bleed a bit, at least to see my leader. That's just a correct play. When you are facing Filavandrel, you want to see the leader, so you bleed at least until you see it. But I'm aware that he is a great player, of course, and he won't just randomly pass at 7 cards without me using Filavandrel, so I just use my leader immediately to not waste any points in case he wants to push deeper. And I'm opening the round with my hand buff engines, because those are engines that give me points but also give me carryover, and because we are both on 10 cards, that means that I can play slow tempo in my first 3 plays. So playing hand buff engine is the best here. Okay, so yeah, Green Knight plays some tempo with Brewers and Roach. I decided to play the defender in the back because that means that he played Brewers in the back, so that means he can't throw it into my defender. So basically my defender is safe from Cyclops. My smuggler is not, but he's row locked, and since he didn't play Drowner yet, I assume he has no Drowner. So yeah, Green Knight decides to destroy my engine here. I play another one, which of course made his Gimpy worse. But I'm still getting carryover, and he doesn't have a good way of dealing with that. So he just plays Gimpy, makes me think that he has another way of dealing 2 damage, like another Wyvern. So basically what I'm trying to do is I want to protect my engine from dying. I buff it up to 6, and this is really awkward what happened here, because Smuggler buffed my Orcfist to an 8, and I know that this list that Green Knight is playing, because this is Ive Bowman's list, runs Geralt of Rivia. So basically I just hope that he's either mulligans Geralt away or spends it now for the defender, which is not a bad play of him, of course, because he has no idea that I have an 8-point Orcfist in hand, right? Those neckers are awkward, they are way too slow to play. Green Knight needs tempo, otherwise he will lose his card, and he is aware of it, so he plays Geralt of Rivia. You know, it's a bittersweet victory for me, because that means my Orcfist is surviving, but at the same time, it means that he just played 11 tempo and denied one of my engines, so I will have to be careful about not falling behind in tempo, and it will be significantly harder for me to get a card. So, as far as I know, like the Gernicola list, I'm afraid that this might be my only Ike target here, so I decided to play Ike over Chironex. I just feel like my lose condition is breaking my Ike in round 3. So I decided to spend it now, tell him if you want to pass, you can go ahead and pass. Because this might be your last opportunity. Yeah, he bricked my volunteers too, of course, which wasn't great, but it's not that bad either. I will talk about it in a second. So basically, yeah, I just thought about my lose conditions, right? You have to think about how you lose the game. My way of losing the game was bricking Ike, so I thought that I will spend him here, even though my opponent probably didn't expect it. Didn't expect me to have him. But yeah, carrying over Chironex to next round is just better. I decided to play Volunteers anyway, of course, because it's my worst card, and if I draw the other one, I can just mulligan it away. And I have a decent hand coming into round 3. So I drew a bunch of bad cards: Wolfpack, Agitator, and Skirmisher. I have the Archer, so I know that if he has Neckers, I have a good answer to them. Green Knight's hand is not good, not bad. He has all the good stuff, basically everything he wins. I wanted to ask, why do you run Wolfpack in this deck? I needed a 4 provision card, and Wolfpack is good against monsters because it can kill a 5 unit. And I wanted to target monsters, that's why I did it. Okay, so I open with Pavko Gale here in case he plays Dorega Ray, because I assume he doesn't expect Yennefer Conjurer. He probably expects Oakfist, but he surely doesn't expect Yennefer Conjurer. So I just decided to open with Pavko if it gets countered by Dorega Ray. And then I have Yenkon for free and Oakfist for free, so I'm not too worried about it. But in the end, Green Knight didn't really have a good answer to that, so Pavko could just stick to the board and help me. So he opens Neckers, of course he has to, because otherwise he's losing a lot of value, but I have the Archer, which counters the Necker play completely. So basically I'm ahead in tempo quite decently right now. But of course I think it was correct from Green Knight to keep the Neckers. He didn't know what I'm facing, and he needed to maximize points in order to win. So yeah, here comes the Spear Tip. I realized that I could get some value, but I'm not regretting anything. At this point I can drop Yennefer Conjurer because he didn't answer Pavko, so I assume he can't answer Yenkon. And both Cyclopses are gone at this point, so playing it in the front is okay. I played it into Necromancy a bit, but I just assumed that if he had Necromancy he wouldn't play in the back anyway. So here comes the Nifral. I don't play artifacts, of course, so it was just 6 points. And now I play my another engine. That's pretty straightforward, like, right? That gives me points per turn, so I decided to play it now. But it will go down to the Crown, which was to be expected. I knew he still has Crown. He already played Brues, so that was quite lucky that it will die, but that's okay. I still have Yenkon and Pavko on board, and I get 3-point Yenkon. And here I'm thinking, what do I want to play? Skirmisher is awkward because it makes my Yenkon worse, and I want to keep Chironex to hit a big unit down to 4, so I can, or down to 5, so I can get a bigger Yenkon. So I just play Oakfist now because I don't expect him to have an answer. When Pavko and Yen are already on board, I just assume he can't deal with Oakfist. And in fact he can't. This is pretty perfect for me. The 9-point Ghoul can get hit by Skirmisher, I can get it down to 6, I can ping it once, and get a double Yenkon again. I can keep my Oakfist because there's no way it's dying, basically. Yeah, I think in the interview Pavel Buja asked about Pavko, and I told that it won me the game. So yeah, Green Knight is thinking about if he wants to play Caldwell now. Of course it's risky, because if he plays it now there's a chance that it will jump away, so he just plays the Ozral now. But that basically means that it's yet another unit. I can hit down to 5, and I can use Yenkon, I can use my Oakfist. I'm a lot of points ahead. and I know that a card that beats me here doesn't exist. So it's a 1-0 for me. I'm happy because my Philavandrel deck went through. I was a bit worried about how it will perform, but it ended up being good. A Green Knight of course passes, he doesn't want to show me that he plays Caldwell. So Philavandrel wins the game, and we go into the next game, which is, I believe, the Nilf NG Mirror. We have to wait for a sign to enter the queue. Hey Hector. Okay, so this is an NG Mirror. I just assume Green Knight runs regular Nilfgaard list, mid-range NG, so I just think that it's an absolute mirror and will come down to whoever draws better. So this time I'm going first. I planned to play NG on blue coin if it's possible, because why not, right? I don't think in the mirror coin flip matters. In fact, I think it's better to go first in the mirror, because last say isn't that important, and you can pass first and force your opponent to play more cards, which maybe means that they have to play something good. And of course, going first, I can just open with Nilfgaardian Knight, which is nice. So at this point I have no idea that Green Knight runs Commander's Horn, but I see this Imperial Brigades and I'm trying to think what could this mean. Because that could mean some combo deck, and I'm starting to think if he plays maybe Commander's Horn, Stefan Skellen, something like that, but that's not enough information. Maybe he just runs this to Finn. So yeah, of course I Finn my Witchers. This is good tempo. I'm not using my tactical advantage yet because I want to play around Leo Bonhart. And now this is a good play from Green Knight because he bluffs that he plays Leo Bonhart, and in fact he doesn't play it. But yeah, that was surely a good play from him. So I know that I want to get out of this round as soon as possible. Just go for a long round 3 and see who draws better. And yeah, so I just play Slave Driver, I buff it up to 7. I'm 17 points ahead. There's no way I'm losing on even if he plays Leo. So I'm in a good position. I'm ready to just pass, and Green Knight will have to commit something into this round if he wants to win it. Is the quality okay, guys? I hope it is. Alright, so he plays an Infiltrator because he knows that I'm about to pass probably, but that was a really slow tempo play. Which means he probably has to go a couple cards down, and also playing Infiltrator in this round has there's something bad about it because I can draw it round 2 and play it against him later. Yeah, he didn't draw Witchers and he didn't Finn because of that, of course. That's unfortunate for him. He couldn't really play bigger tempo. He plays Peter Hin, Finn Souter, Roach. Peter is not that good in this matchup anyway. So in the end, it's yeah, I don't know why my YouTube quality is so bad right at the moment. I will try to do something about it, but I can show you that. Oh wait, it switched to the lower one. Interesting. I have no idea why it happened, but apparently it happened. Okay, I will try to get it to this. So yeah, in the end it wasn't that bad for Green Knight, even though he didn't finish his Witchers out. His hand looks solid, but my hand is completely bonkers. At this point I don't even know what I want to play. I wish I had some infiltrators, but well, I don't. So I'm thinking about what do I want to do. I expect him to pass after this card, right? Because he's 2 cards down. But just in case, just to be safe, I decided to play Peter here. Because Peter is not great in this matchup anyway. And I think that if he will pass, I will play 1 Slave Infantry. It's okay, because I saw that he plays Gimpy in Gernikora. So maybe he plays Gimpy in Nilfgaard too. I will play around Gimpy a bit. That's fine, I don't mind committing 1 copy of Slave Infantry to take this round. Then of course I pass, we go for a longer round 3. And I drew 1 of the Infiltrators, which is something I don't need, and basically this hand is probably the best hand I could hope for. I'm only missing Lacerate, but mulliganing any of the cards that I have in hand is not worth it. I just keep everything and I just drew perfectly. Green Knight's hand is okay, but because he didn't finish his Witchers, he's forced to play 2 bronzes. So this is where the quality difference comes from. Quality in hand. Of course I have a proactive play, which is really nice. And NG quite often struggles with proactivity, but having a seer is really important. Now the quality should be slightly better. Okay, so he plays Witchers now, he thins them out. Which, in terms of thinning, doesn't matter too much. He doesn't have his Mano here, too. So yeah, I just play my Slave Infantry to enable Vremday. Because why not? I'm realizing that I'm not getting a better Slave Infantry target than that Roach, so might as well play it now. Before something happens to the Roach and it gets awkward. Do you think he wins if he drew Mano? I don't think so. I don't think he does. It would have been closer, but I don't think he does. I don't remember though. Like, the difference was significant, right? He had to pass with 2 cards in hand, or 1? I don't remember. Yeah, we will see. Okay, here he denies my Vremday kills 1 Slave Infantry, so that is of course a great play on his side. My Vremday is only 6 points. So we can assume that this Slave Driver will be, or this Nausicaa Brigade will be Mano. So yeah, he plays the Nausicaa Brigade, he doesn't protect it because there's no point, I guess. I mean, yeah, buffing it up is bad if I have Sarit, right? And no Leto. And generally buffing it is not good versus Leo, so I just take my Leto, I kill it, I trade up 6, which is of course awesome for me. And yeah, he's stacking back row really hard. So I have my suspicion that he's running Commander's Horn. But I'm not sure. I think that he might be playing around like Alba Spearman or something. So I'm not sure yet. I will tell you what was my logic later, going into the next game, to be sure if he runs Horn. But I'm like 90% sure he runs Horn. So yeah, I'm thinking about what to play this. I play here, I just decide to play Leo because I assume it's probably not getting better. And it gives me some options to play. Yeah, Lacerate in this match would be really good, but that was like the only card I didn't draw, right? I can't really complain because my hand quality overall was really good. This Leo is great too because it enables my Blue Dream. Which, at this point, Green Knight doesn't know if I run Blue Dream or not. So yeah, here comes the slave driver. He plays it in melee row, which, you know, makes me question if he actually plays horn for sure, but I guess he was just playing around lacerate. So I think that my play here was just a unicorn. I'm playing around his Leo Bonhart, so I'm not getting everything over 7. Of course, buffing the unicorn up to 6 makes him unable to kill it as Nilfgaard. Here comes the slave infantry. Pretty good target for him. I suspect he could play Vramdi too, so I decided to kill one of the slave infantries. I of course use Serid, not Blue Dream, because he knows I have Serid and he doesn't know I have Blue Dream. So if I don't have to reveal any information, that I'm not doing that. It's unnecessary. Okay, Green Knight here doesn't buff his unicorn up. In hindsight, I think, okay, let's pause for a second here. I think it was correct to buff it up to 10, because my Leo is already down, so I can't punish that. My Peter is already gone, so I can't do much about it. Buffing it up to 10 means that I can't kill it with Chiron X, and there was like no punish for him to do that. When he did this, I was thinking that maybe he doesn't have Chiron X, even because he didn't buff it up to 10. If he had Chiron X, he would buff it up to 10. But I decided that, you know, maybe he's nervous and he just missed it, so I decided to kill that anyway. But I think it was okay for him to buff it up to 10. I think there was no punish in the game. Or maybe Blue Dream on Peter, but even that's fine. Maybe he was playing around Blue Dream Peter, but I don't remember if there's Peter. Yeah, there is Peter. But that's still fine, like, I have Serid, which is just as good. It's actually even better, right? I don't think there was the point to kill it. Why not? Why was there not a point to kill it? He didn't put you on Blue Dream. You think there was no way to kill it? Okay, yeah, there was a way to kill it for me with Blue Dream. Of course, maybe he just forgot that I might run Blue Dream, so he thought that this is safe. However, I still think like there was no reason to not buff it. So that costed him 5 points. No, 3 points, right? Because I lost 1 point on Serid, but I denied 4 points on his Chiron. Actually, I denied 3 points on his Chiron X, so that costed him 2 points in the end. Yeah, and he gives me better Chiron X, of course. It's actually more complicated math than I thought. But yeah, at this point I'm 20 points ahead. I still have 2 charges. He has 3 charges. He knows that my last card is Ox, so he knows that he can't get ahead and he decides to pass. The game was actually quite close. I think if he had Meno and he protected his Chiron X, he would have won. Or maybe just Meno wins the game, I'm not sure. But well, you can't expect to draw everything if you don't thin out the Witchers in round 1. But yeah, I was quite lucky in this game, I have to admit. I drew perfectly, and I only missed Lacerate. Hey Vanilla, hey Heno, hey Butcha. Okay, so I'm 2-0 up. I need to win with Ada, and my Ada is really favored against Gernikora and Bran, which Green Knight probably knows, so he decides to queue the Morvan matchup first, because to keep in mind that every game you win in open gives you more money. So he just thinks that this is his best way of beating Ada. Also, he probably wants to go second with Bran and Gernikora against Ada, if it's possible for him. Alright, so basically my plan is that I really want to win this round. I really want to have the last say so he can't counter my Hubert with Peter. So my hand, in theory, it doesn't look that great to do that. So I decided to play Revenant first. I feel like he's not going to lock it because there's only there's limited number of locks you can play as Nilfgaard. I know that Nilfgaard has a lot of them, but that's still, you know, you can't lock everything. And Revenants are really snowbally. I didn't see Gimpy in his NG list anyway, so I feel like, sure, maybe Revenants will win me this round. I have Damned Sorceress to line up Revenants. I can also kill my Sorceress with Revenants, so this Revenant can be worth a lot of points. He buffs it up to 11. I'm a little bit annoyed by that because I play Ike in my deck, but I don't even have... he didn't know that I have Ike in my deck, of course, because the standard list doesn't run it. But I didn't have Dragon anyway, so that's fine. But I know that I need to do something about this Revenant because at one point it's quite likely to die, so I just kill my Sorceress and get another 3.1 that demands an answer. So yeah, Revenants are very snowbally card. Keep in mind that I'm aware that he probably runs Horn at this point. Hey Repek, I just rewatched the quarterfinal too. Yeah, that was some good games. Okay, so Green Knight fins his deck, of course. His game plan is to get the combo pieces, get Horn, Meno and Asir, so finning is very important for him. But at the same time, he has to keep in mind that there is a threat of him losing on even. That would be really bad for him. So he needs to fin and keep up in tempo, basically. Alright, so I play Vess here. I get another Revenant. So basically, my situation on the board right now is that I have a 4-point unit on his side that I can damage by 3, get it to 1, activate my Revenant again, and then next turn I could play like my Commando or Drummer and kill my Sorceress with Revenant again. So I have set up Revenants for 2 next turns, basically. So this is a good position to be in, of course. Here come the Witches. This is a pretty big tempo play, but I'm not too worried. Revenants really have my back, and I can push even deeper. And yeah, that's what I do. I enable my Revenant. There was a consideration for me to use Vess here, but I really want to use it for commandos if it's possible. And yeah, Green Knight decides to pass here because his hand is quite awkward. There is a threat of him losing on even if he plays Slave Driver, and he doesn't really want to play other cards because he needs locks for my dragons and he needs mana for his win condition. He doesn't want to commit Unicorn, he doesn't want to commit Peter. I'm not sure if I agree with that pass, but I can see why he did that. So here I'm thinking about what's my plan, what's my strategy going forward, what I really want to draw. And basically I really want Hubert. I like that I drew both artifacts, that's really important, and it will be very important later on. Here I decided to keep that Commando because I'm not pushing into this round, and if I keep it in my hand now, I guarantee that I won't draw it in round 3, so I can mulligan it away for free in round 3, and not get it back. So there's no need for me to push, and I just pass, which gives Green Knight a nice infiltrator. I don't remember if I drew it in the end, but I had 1 in 10 chance to draw it. Okay, okay, I drew the botchling and Hubert again, pretty lucky. That Ike is likely to not get value, although he did not play around it earlier, and I know that he runs Horn. I was considering if I want to keep it, but I think that my loose condition is keeping the Ike, so I get rid of it. I still have decent cards in my deck, Synthesis and Seltkirk, but I decided that my hand quality is okay. I don't want to pass, I don't want to draw a bad card, so I'm fine with that. I think Green Knight mulliganed away Slave Infantry here, so that was pretty... that was not great for him. I'm not sure what was he doing. What was his plan there? Hey Intro, hey Rafał, hey Kayer. I'm mad too, but I will analyze the semi-final today too, so don't worry, we will go to that. Okay, so this is very telling play from Green Knight. He basically tells me that he doesn't have a good proactive play. So my line of playing here is that I want to deny his proactive plays, like reactive plays, as long as possible, which is of course easy to do when you have 2 artifacts in hand. So I dropped the Summoning Circle, I dropped it with 10 cards in hand. The general idea was to get Drummer on turn 6 and Scout on turn 4. After the Drummer, of course. So the Summoning Circle would give me decent value here, but because Green Knight struggles with proactivity here, he decides to drop the Bomb Heaver. So he's stacking again, and he knows that I'm Ada, so I'm likely to run Sabrina. So at this point I'm 100% sure he runs some Horn shenanigans. I'm just not sure if it's Kellen or just Asir Meno yet. So I play another, I could play Botchling first to get more points per turn, but he seems to struggle with proactivity, so I want to make his plays as awkward as possible for as long as possible. So I just decided to drop that Expired Dale. 1 Bomb Heaver is already gone. I don't expect him to run 2 artifact removals, so I feel pretty safe about this Tainted Ale on the board sticking, and it will be very important in the end. Yeah, the casters are hovering over Sabrina here because of course Green Knight has to stack for his Horn, but that makes my Sabrina much better. So at this point, he already, I can't deny his reactive plays anymore. I decided to just play the Botchling because Botchling gives me points per turn. So why not? This is just the best value I can get. Decided to play the Botchling. Which of course was answered by Green Knight with Leto, I believe. I will talk to you guys on the chat later after this match a bit if you have any questions, because I'm recording for YouTube, so I don't want to confuse people too much, but we will talk about the match a bit more after the recording. Okay, no, in the end he just Kairo'd it away. That's fine too. He's not betting a better Kairo, so it's totally fine. So yeah, I'm starting to fall behind a bit, but of course I'm Ada, so anyway, I congratulate decks. You must have spent a lot of time building them. Yeah, I didn't play ladder at all. I was just screaming and deck building. It takes some time. I have a question. Where do you live? Give me your address. Sure, I will give you guys my address on stream, Kappa. Okay, so drummers are really important in this matchup because I know that he has a lot of locks, right? So with drummer on the board, I'm quite likely to get one of the orders through. I love drummers for the NG matchup basically, but yeah, Green Knight decides to lock it. At this point, I guess yeah, but the thing is, if they lock the drummer, they won't lock the other engine, right? Like the other card that I wanted to combo with drummer. So he spent one answer, and now he has to decide whether or not he wants to spend an answer on this commando. If he doesn't, I will get a lot of points. If he does, then he risks letting Oak Fist or Seltkirk leave because he saw a synthesis from his Morven. So I think in the end what Green Knight did is he allowed it to leave. Yeah, I think he was stacking for Asir because for Horn, sorry, for Sabrina, I mean. Because well, basically he thought that I can kill his units, so he was afraid that I can deny Horn. But yeah, now Sabrina is getting better and better. I'm quite behind at this point, so I don't want to play Sabrina yet, because that might mean he has slave infantry, and I really don't want to play into that. So I just play Vincent now, and I'm thinking if I need to use it. I decided that I need to take a risk because I'm already so behind. I'm not sure if that was correct or not, but I decided to keep it, because of course Vincent damage counts towards Hubert. And Green Knight made a small mistake here, let me pause here. I know that he has Ox in hand, right, because he plays Leto. I didn't know he has this. So he should have played Ox first, then I wouldn't be sure whether or not he has another answer, or if this card is slave infantry. Because right now I have I'm 100% sure what's left in his hand. I know that it's Menno because he shuffled Horn, that's the only reason to shuffle Horn, and I know that it's Ox because he played Leto Ox. So playing this first was a mistake, I think. Although it wouldn't have changed anything. I think that if he played Ox first, I would still take a risk because that was my only win condition. But yeah, at this point I know exactly what's left in his hand. So I know how to play against it. I know that I don't have to fear slave infantry. So I just play Sabrina here. I play it in the middle because I want to force him to buff it with Horn. I get 2 extra points that way. I can get 1 extra damage with Expired Ale. And of course that's 1 extra point on Hubert, so 2 extra points total. Yeah, if he had Slave Infantry instead of Alba, he would have won. I think. I don't know. It depends, though. It depends whether or not he could answer Oakfist. I would probably just play Oakfist before Sabrina then. And maybe I win anyway. I'm not sure. But at this point I know that... Well, I know that he can't answer this Sabrina. I know that he can answer this Oakfist, but that doesn't really matter. So... Here comes the Ox, and... I'm a lot of points behind, but I still have Hubert. I'm 50 points behind, basically 49. But I have Hubert, I have Expired Ale, I have Sabrina, I have Ada. Easy 59 point play. And I win. So, Green Knight was quite unfavored with his lineup against mine. I did draw really well in the matchup in the mirror matchup, which was really important. And yeah, I think that was the most important matchup, basically. The fact that I could win the mirror with good draws won me the series. Although I think I probably would have won the series anyway. Yeah, I'm too tall for this webcam, for this camera, I guess. Did you even count Hubert value before dropping it? Him? No, but I knew that I was winning. I didn't count precisely, but I know that knew that it's enough. So I had like an estimation around 50 something points. Yeah, I think that was a good match played by well played by me, because I don't think I did many mistakes. I drew well, and the way to win matches and tournaments is don't make mistakes and draw well. So I met both conditions. Feels bad for Green Knight that he had to lose 0-3 in his first tournament, but he's a great player and an awesome guy. So I'm sure he will come back soon. And yeah, he's awesome, really. He will start streaming soon, so follow maybe Team Leviathan. Maybe they will inform you when he starts streaming, because he's a really nice person. Should he have pushed hard round 1 versus your Ada? In theory, yes, but the question is, if he could, because his hand was really awkward, right? He had Meno, which is one of his combo piece, and he needed that. He had very slow slave driver that was so slow that he could potentially lose uneven. He also had the unicorn that was okay. I think it was fine to play unicorn, but at the same time, if you play unicorn, that means one less answer for round 3 with Chironex. I just think that his hand wasn't able to push deeper, and I think that my hand also had a lot of potential. Like, I could actually play 4 more cards maybe and still be fine. I didn't have Hubert in hand, which in hindsight was good for me, because that means I can push round 1 deeper. So with different hands, however, I can't imagine that hand, but if he could push, then sure, but I don't think he could have. That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. Literal God says that if you drew Commander Scouts, then it's hard to win round 1 as Nilfgaard, cause he can draw Revenant and Ves, and your Drummer Commander Scouts come, and not your, yeah, okay, he can answer Revenant and Ves, but not your Drummer Commander Scouts combo. Yeah, basically that's the thing. That's true. I don't think he could have won that. Basically, like, the game really went my way, and the fact that I could play it on red coin was also very important. Although going first is fine too. With Ada, I think it's not that bad. But yeah, GG to Green Knight. He's a good player. I'm sure he will be back. And that's it for the quarterfinals. So if anybody's watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. And on Twitch, we will start analyzing semifinals soon.